Hello, welcome again, guys, to for Investment Strategies. If this is your first time, please make sure that you like, you subscribe, and you share this video. This is just to help us actually to go further in terms of many views and how much YouTube suggests our videos. So we hope this is really alright with you. Thank you very much for doing that. Please, for those who are in TikTok, please go and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Fruitful Investment Strategies. It's the same name. So and for those who are on YouTube, please go and subscribe to our TikTok channel as well. It's just the same name. So listen to this video first before we come into the subject.
If the US truly wants to resolve issues through dialogue and negotiation, it should stop making threats and resorting to coercion, and engage with China on the basis of equality, mutual respect and mutual benefit. Saying they want to reach an agreement with China while continuing to apply maximum pressure is not the right way to deal with China, and it will not work.
Earlier today, Treasury Secretary Dustin suggested that with tariff rates as high as they are now, it's effectively an embargo of trade between the United States and China. Do you see it that way?
That's true. 145% is very high, and it won't be that high. It's not going to be that high. It got up to that. We were talking about fentanyl, where various elements built it up to 145. No, it won't be anywhere near that high.
What level do you think it'll come down to if you haven't?
It'll come down substantially, but it won't be zero. They're going to do very well, and I think they're going to be happy, and I think we're going to live together very happily and ideally work together. So I think it's going to work out very well. But no, it's at 145%. It will not be anywhere near that number.
So basically, Donald Trump has put tariff of 145% on Chinese imports, and this is Chinese goods. We're talking about anything that comes from China. And then initially it was phones, TV, computers, let's say everything. That's because the Chinese cars are 100% tariff. That's Joe Biden left, and now Donald Trump increased it because he wants to be tough. And as I said in my previous video, if you followed me, I said this can make him win or it can make him lose in terms of how how the Chinese react to it and how much the Chinese power have. America is a power, but China is not less of a power. So we have two superpowers trying to outweigh one another. China is not Russia. When it comes to economy, China is very advanced in economy and they have a strong economy. So what I think Donald Trump should have done was actually, before I get into what he should have done. So Donald Trump put a tariff of 145%, and then that tariff, it becomes very difficult for any American business to import anything in America, which means clothes become much more expensive, which means school things become much more expensive. Everything that is produced today is basically produced in China. Chanel, your bags, which actually you take on and you're very proud of, those are made in China as well. So you have the shoes that you wear, Nike, those are made in China as well. So everything that you basically use, except from these American cars full of petrol and polluting the earth, everything else is actually made in China. China is the greatest producer of everything. And they have the best of everything. They have the best of everything. It all depends on how much money you have and how much you have to spend. You really can get anything you want to, and you can design anything you want to. However, that's not the problem. So you have small American businesses which are actually coordinating with the Chinese business people. And these American businesses depend on the goods that the Chinese sent in, which have been produced and manufactured in China. Now that the tariff has gone very high, so these Chinese American businessmen cannot order from the Chinese producers because the tariff, obviously, they're very high. So what they have to do is actually to look for another routes. And America has no other routes because it has imposed more or tariff as well on Vietnam, more tariff on Taiwan, and all these Asian countries which are producing. America is a much more service-based economy. So with this service-based economy, you cannot actually build factories in one day. You have to be patient. You have to prepare the ground for that, which Donald Trump did not do. So hence, his retraction. So he started retracting that, okay, the tariff will not be on the electronics. So the electronics went off from the tariff radar. So all this was actually to put the pressure on the Chinese, but the Chinese were not hitting on the pressure because they put their own tariff, which was actually 125%. So we see there was really a fight between the two, and the Chinese were not giving up, and they say, hey, we cannot go into this game. So if America want to play this, they can play it alone. And now Donald Trump today has come actually and say, hey, we are willing to get the tariff down because we see that business is not going as it should. The stock market was falling. Everything was falling actually after Donald Trump had criticized as well the bankers and stuff like that. So all the market was actually going down. Now America or Donald Trump is actually suggesting that he should get the tariff down. I think what he should start with when it comes to China and when it comes to big powers, he should start it by negotiating with them. Speak to them firstly and see how you can do it. Instead of just imposing tariff and expecting to talk. That makes things worse. And that makes the American economy worse because now we see that China and everybody will say America is actually very weak. And that's why it looks like the eyes of the world. Donald Trump is a weak person. He cannot do what he's supposed to do. And he don't know how to actually go into the business and how to deal with all these special countries and how to actually, because China has everything. They have the minerals. In Africa, they own mines. And they're actually selling it to whosoever they want. They have a lot of mines. And they have a pre-installed all these mining companies, and those mining companies are producing a lot of mines. So America, if you want to buy coltan, to buy cobalt, to buy anything, they have to buy from the Chinese industries. Hence, America is trying to co-create as well the Luanda corridor or Lobito corridor, which goes from Zambia, DRC, and Angola to kind of export minerals, which is actually what America is working on. Hence, the reason why America is trying to bring peace to the DRC, but this as well is a challenge on its own. So we'll see how it's going to be and how America is going to process this. My advice to President Donald Trump is that he should talk first. Before you act, please make sure that you talk to the other components, the other opponent, and make sure that you know what are they thinking about what you are thinking or what you want to do. If the negotiation does not work, then you can actually work on the tariff thing. But I think you should have been a bit wiser in terms of retracting that, holding first with that tariff before actually you go on to full-scale war. Now there is a full-scale war of China. Hence the video you just heard from the Chinese Foreign Minister. And let's see. I think what he should do next, actually, Donald Trump should really allow himself to go into the negotiations, make sure that all the negotiations are set, everything is ready, and have a talk. Only by talking we can resolve those issues. But if we go on the war front, I don't think there is any way you can actually resolve these issues. China is one of the greatest power you have. They have the hydrogen bomb, biological bomb. These things have never been produced in the United States and in the history of humanity, which means we are actually at the end. So tell me what you think. I want to hear comments, guys. I want to see comments down there. You're watching videos, but you have to comment. I want to know you, to know what you are thinking and how you're thinking about this. So see you on the next one.